Most of us have a self-image, a face that we show to the world. We relish in the idea of being acknowledged for the attractive beings that we are, and we dread it when our values are being threatened and our existence being challenged. This is why politeness is very important in the social world. Politeness helps us deal with people's self-image without creating unnecessary conflicts and damaging our relationships. Politeness is a social lubricant. The following are Leech's universal maxims of politeness that you need to be aware of to become a little bit more courteous and polite. Number 1. The tact maxim. This one can be described as minimize the expression of beliefs which imply cost to others, and maximize the expression of beliefs which imply benefit to others. The first part is about not imposing on other people. For instance, overstaying your welcome, force-feeding your own opinions, asking inappropriate questions, creating peer pressure are all forms of imposition. Avoid making people feel like they need to do something that takes away their freedom of choice. If you want to say something and you have to interrupt, you can ask permission. May I interrupt you for a moment? Another form of tact is to provide options. The second part of the maxim is about paying attention to the hearer's interests, wants, and needs. Being a good listener is crucial here. You can bring up people's hobbies to give them something to talk about, something that will move them out of their awkwardness. A good question to get to know someone is, what is something that you are good at but you don't get the chance to brag about? Simply try to fulfill the other person's need and fill their emotional vessels. Number 2. The generosity maxim is stated as such. Minimize the expression of beliefs that express or imply benefit to self, and maximize the expression of beliefs that express or imply cost to self. This maxim is about how the speaker should put the other person first instead of the self. A simple expression would be, "Don't worry about it, I'll get it done," or "I would love to have you and Mary for dinner." These are all expressions of generosity that imply cost to self or benefit to the other. Generosity can come in the form of favors, services, helping the vulnerable, sharing the blame, setting up a joke that the other person will capitalize on, going back to someone who was interrupted and asking them to finish. Even starting a conversation is an expression of generosity. Remember that it doesn't have to be financial. Generosity is only limited by your imagination rather than your wallet. Number 3. The approbation maxim. This maxim is summarized as minimize the expression of beliefs which express dispraise of other, and maximize the expression of beliefs which express approval of other. It's about avoiding insults, backhanded compliments, and hurtful remarks. If the person has nothing good to say, they can remain silent or use euphemisms or make the conversation as short as possible. If praise is on the table, it should be used to make people feel good by boosting the other person's confidence, abilities, contributions either to the conversation or to the situation. An example would be, "Hey Raj, I heard you are a wizard with the ladies. How can I get this girl to text me back?" Or, "Clara, you look like someone who knows how to do X." These are very polite ways using the approbation maxim to get what you want, or just to be polite. Number 4. The modesty maxim. Following this maxim means to minimize the expression of praise of self and maximize the expression of dispraise of self. While the approbation maxim focuses on the other, this one focuses on you. The speaker can aim to keep it casual, not overshare their achievements and abilities, They should keep their arrogance in check and monitor their self-talk in public. Examples may go like this. I can't seem to get this right at the moment. I'll try again. Or, it appears I have made a mistake and I need to apologize. Being modest is about not being afraid to self-deprecate. Accepting a humorous joke aimed at one's behalf can be a sign of grace and strength. Groups often tease newcomers to vet who will belong and who will not. So, getting insecure and sensitive is bound to leave you alone. Learn to recognize similar social rituals. Number 5. The agreement maxim. The main point is to minimize the expression of disagreement between self and other, and maximize the expression of the agreement between self and other. You should enter every conversation with the intention of adding value to both parties. This maxim is not about cowering away from conflict and disagreements, but guiding the conversation towards agreeing more than disagreeing. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. Verbally mirroring the other shows agreement. Head nods show agreement. Focusing on shared values shows agreement. Using we instead of I in conversation is a good way of showing agreement. Same thing with and instead of but. Instead of saying, I had such a lovely time tonight but I prefer to just be friends, you say, I had such a lovely time tonight and I prefer to be just friends. This way the blow is a little bit softened. Number 6. The sympathy maxim. This maxim states to minimize antipathy between self and other, maximize sympathy between self and other. You can minimize antipathy by expressing congratulations when someone succeeds to achieve something or goes through a positive life event or change. I knew you can do it. One can show sympathy by expressing condolences, hiding celebrations or personal victories when the other is going through a hard time, or exhibiting signs of sorrow and commiseration. That's why we say, I'm so sorry for your loss, even though that person mentioned died 10 years ago. Alright, to summarize, there are 6 politeness maxims. The tact maxim, the generosity maxim, the approbation maxim, the modesty maxim, the agreement maxim, and the sympathy maxim. I have trouble saying the word maxim, but okay. While expressions and actions of politeness might differ from culture to culture, however, these principles are quite universal. Seek to use them in your daily life. Pay attention when you are making transgressions. You can practice them individually until they are internalized and move on to the next. They might seem simple, I might sound pretentious explaining them to you, but they're very useful, so use them. If you like this video, you might leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos on power and social dynamics. You can start by watching these videos over here. Stay sharp, and I'll see you there.